morning and welcome to the Italian Ikazuki stream. My name is Katie and today we are working on getting the large box bags wrapped up. Now we are not going to get all of the large box bags sewn. Basically we're going to sew whatever I got cut last night. And sorry, I'm just trying to, the light above my head. There we go. Its cord has been hanging in my face the past couple days, so I just wanted to clip it out of the way. Hi, cat. What are you doing? Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Quality Control Inspector Flynn is here as well. Hopefully he's not too much of a pest. Come here. What's up? Come here. Come say hi. It's like, no, I'm going to be shy today. You, sir, have fluff coming off of you. All right. Did I run this morning like I said I was going to? No. But I did clear our driveway, which took like half an hour because we had a bunch of snow. And of course, everything underneath it is like icy because it was kind of sleet yesterday. And yeah, it's just like, oh, of course. So cleared it because if I knew if I cleared it, it would be like it's gonna clear up over today. It's not a big deal. And it means that like the driveway will be basically dry by the time I probably go pick up the kids. So we did that. We did coffee. We're down here with a bunch of snacks, so we're just gonna kind of go along here. I do need to load the truck tonight, but that can be done when the kids are home is what I figure. So what we do now is I'm going to go through and we're going to sew up the all these box edges that we cut last night, and then I'm going to leave the turning until the end of the day, and we'll do turning when I am done as much as I can get done, basically. More or less we'll do turning probably and finishing seams tonight once the kids are in bed. So, or maybe not. We're going to try and get as much done without me having to come down tonight so I can get a good night's sleep, hopefully. I also need to make sure I leave time to chat with my mother-in-law because tomorrow will be an early day for her. She has them all day, or maybe I'll get my sister-in-law to take them up. Alright, so there is that done. And then what we do is we turn it. And okay, where? Oh yeah, your handle is over here still. Here it is. Okay, so this one does already have the care tag in it, so I don't need to worry about adding that in. What I do with the handles is they'll look like they're going in upside down now, but then when you have the bag, they'll sit like this. So if it's a directional print, the handle will always sit this direction because it just pleases me. It will look like it's opposite to what the bag is actually doing, but it looks really good when it's like open on a table and sitting somewhere. So that's what I go with. I do not know why I didn't drink more of my coffee before we came downstairs, but once this handle is in, I'm going to drink at least some of it. I should have drank some of it while I was in the prep mode to like get set up, but that is typically not the time to be drinking coffee anyway. I did pick up my cup yesterday and there's like a great big black thread in it, and I was like, oh, of course. I'm pretty pleased with what we got done yesterday though, because I got all the interior seams wrapped up, and then we got about 50 bags. Well, sorry, like just over 45 prepped last night between what I got cut before dinner and then last night as well. So we did pretty good. I was hemming and hawing last night on the stream whether I would be finishing them up, but what I'm going to do is instead of switching my focus to the Kato bags, like I was originally planning, we're just going to go in and finish the large box bags. They're so close. It's really dumb to not just finish them. And then post Popup with Ancient Arts, I will do the Kato bags in preparation for Peace Fiber Festival. Especially since the Kato have a ton of work still left before I even sit down to start sewing them. So yeah, we'll get wrapped on the large box bags and then move on to them. So I do a little top stitch, back stitch on this corner here because it will be the turning corner, and then we can just turn it through that without opening up the seam too far. That's kind of the thought process behind that one. We do have a few small box bags here because, again, they were literally just needed their handles. Somehow their handles got missed in the last round of small box bags before Airdrie, so I'm like, we're gonna finish them. And so we'll have, and I did make sure that the other Shiba Inu bags in the large box bag size got finished last night as well, even though I was like, I'm only gonna do 5 more. I added the other 2 Shiba Inu bags so that we had them all, or at least all of them, ones that I currently have nearly finished, done. Alright, so this is a case where we will have to put the tag in because I wasn't putting them into the seams quite yet. Oh, and these smaller handles fit these bags so much better. Alright. Trim down the handle piece there. Oh man, even with, like, I didn't do all those bags, but my hand is still sore from the shears last night. Oops. Oh well, what are you gonna do? You gotta do what you gotta do. And it'll recover. It's mostly, it's not like a muscle sore, it's just like, it's almost basically like a pressure sore almost. Probably should figure out a way to like wrap the handle so that I don't get that, but you know, I don't know what I would even use. Do you use like the little pencil like things? Oh, I gotta go to the dollar store too. Right, there are a couple things I gotta do outside the house today. I gotta go to the dollar store and I need to go to the bank for a float. Actually, I need to almost go to the bank for a float before they close. Shoot, I forgot about that because I need coins. Coffee, that's right. And yes, I did pull the giant mug today because I was like, I am not doing this without a giant mug of coffee today. So, sue me. Good news is that, like, I do definitely want to hang out with the kids on Sunday, but I know part of what they're going to want to do is TV, and that is fine. But basically what I can do is I can bring up the stuff to cut. So I'm pretty sure we should be able to get through the remainder of the sewing of the bags on Monday, which is fantastic. Very exciting. And then next week we'll move into, like I said, the finishing of, or the next step on the Kato bag. I feel like, Katie, you're not packing the truck till like later today. No. I am much better, well, I'm typically better at packing last minute. Does it mean that I occasionally forget stuff? Yes. For like a show for Knit City or something like that, I usually do pack a couple days in advance. For again, this is a 10 by 10 booth, so it's a lot less stuff to just even have to think of bringing. So I'm not too worried about it. Should I be? Probably. Am I? No. More worried about how the roads are going to impact the show tomorrow because it's like gross outside. It's just like, really? Come on. I think it's actually worse than yesterday. So basically it sleeted yesterday and then it froze overnight and now we got this lovely layer of ice under everything. I do think it's warm enough that it's basically just all going to melt anyway. But I did make sure to shovel the driveway so that, like, basically removing the snow today means that it's going to dry off, which is awesome. Now there's a giant pile of like snow underneath my Jeep because the Jeep is in the way and I didn't feel like moving it, but whatever. The main part is cleared so that I don't pack it down with the truck more. It's like maybe I'll take the Jeep to pick up the kids, but I just remembered that no, I have a strategy for how I'm going to load the truck today, because basically it involves putting the children in the Jeep with their iPads and then parking just kind of in the garage and loading everything in the truck while they eat pizza pops and watch their iPads. And then because they'll be tired from day home or from preschool, hopefully, they just come in and we can change into PJs and go to bed. Or at least they can go to bed. I don't know if I'll be going to bed then. Probably not, because it's hard for me to fall asleep that early. As much as I'm like, I want an early bedtime. I don't need it that early. Technically, I should still sketch out my booth and see kind of what I'm even doing, to be honest. Actually, I think I have a pretty good idea of what I'm going to do, but we'll see. Alright, so these were the ones left over from prep for Airdrie for January that got missed. Well, didn't get missed. Their handles got missed, so they didn't get sewn. So I figured I may as well add them in now because it's just the interior seams that needed to be done, especially now that the like actual handles had been finished. And then there's actually, so these will make some matching sets if you would like at Shindig. There's going to be the black cat with windows, in windows on purple, and then the Shiba Inus with their like retro signs and everything like that will also have a match in the large box bags. And the pink version's already been sewn. Alright, I want to make sure that that cat gets in here. I finished that second book, the second rite of Filthy Rich Vampires. Definitely far spicier than the first one. Just as forewarning. And then there was a spicy book review on Instagram that I stumbled across for a quart of sugar and spice. That's what it was. I just opened it up to start it. But it's, again, another spicy book, apparently. And it is a retelling of the Nutcracker. So I'll let you know how that one goes, because who knows. The awesome part of these is that they are from the library. So I'm increasing the library circulation, which I will always gladly contribute to. Typically, I try to like get my books first. Like, I have streaming for audiobooks because there's no way that I would be able to get audiobooks from the library in the quantities that I need to like keep myself on track a lot of the time. But typically, I try to like start with the library and then work my way out from there for audiobooks. There we go. Alright, now the cat is like sleeping exactly where I want to stack bags. And I'm sure if I start stacking them behind me, he's just going to move over there. So I guess he'll just get bags stacked on him. I don't know. They were like super like clingy this morning when I woke up, and I'm like, what's up? And because I thought, okay, well, they're probably out of food or water or whatever. Came downstairs, and no, their bowls are fine and clear and all of that. So apparently they just wanted to see me, which is sometimes concerning. My eldest was like in the bed this morning. Alarm went off, and they were all like very concerned that youngest wasn't in the bed this morning. It's just like, no, they slept in their bed all night. There's nothing wrong with that. They're sick. No, they're not sick. They're fine. They just slept through the bed. They slept through the night in their own bed. Went in, turned the light on the youngest, and was like, hey, go wake them up. And they like buried their head in the comforter. And then got upset because they couldn't cut their toast with a fork. It's like, that's not what forks are for, but all right, go off. Otherwise, at least it wasn't like some days, again, they just wake up and they choose violence, and that was not the case this morning, which was very enjoyable. Because yesterday it was definitely a wake up and choose violence day. It's just like, really? And it lasted all the way through to bedtime too, because it was like the youngest got so upset that they actually threw up their dinner, and I'm like, I couldn't even tell what they were upset with. Like, obviously they weren't happy to be going to bed, but they were just like inconsolable. Granted, that was also the end of a very long day for me, so my regulation was not at its peak. What would you call that? Peak? It wasn't at its peak. It was definitely not. Guess I'll just go with that. Okay, that is too perfect to not have that Shiba Inu in the middle of the handle. So, or at least as best as I can. Okay. This one needs to have its seam there, re-sewn. I don't know how I missed that, but all right. We'll get her done. Let's hope that I can actually get most of these done, because I would like to be able to tag at home, and that would actually be a good one to do with the kids around. So let's try and get everything done, and at least to the point of like, well, yeah, if I can, I would love to turn and do the finishing seams before the kiddos come home. I guess we'll see, but I can hope and dream. If you're kind of like, these handle lengths seem kind of arbitrary, that's because they are. They just kind of go in, and wherever they sit nice, basically, that's where they stay. I need to make Flynn his own decoy ironing table, because he's like over on the ironing table just like, oh, this is comfy. All right, we're getting there. Every bag is one bag closer to being done. I always forget how long this step takes, but it's like, there's no way to really chain piece this. And there's like, it's 8 seams. So we've done what, like, this will be the 4th and a half bag. Yeah, about 5 minutes per bag. Eek. Well, I guess that's not too bad though, because it's 50 bags, so it's 250 minutes. Ooh, it's like never mind. I'll just see what we can do. I was like, that's not that bad, but it's like 6 hours worth of work. Over 6 hours worth of work. And I have to go run today. I'm dressed for running under this. I know I said I was going to go to the gym, but I'm going to hold off one more day for recovery and just like time's sake, and I'll start back on Monday. And that whole start back on Monday thing is not because I don't want to go to the gym. It's just that is when I have kids in childcare. So. Coffee. Coffee, 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 coffee. I love how the different colorways of these, so they do change up the actual like color of the details on it. So like the phone on the gray one I think is actually pink and that sort of thing, but I love how like the different backgrounds also make the ones that they leave the same pop differently too. Now the other side. Coffee grounds. Gross. Like fines. Not very often that my coffee machine does that, but when it does, it's like, ugh. I used to have like a, so right now we have like a push button, not Keurig, well basically a fancy Keurig, but it doesn't use the pods or anything like that, so it's got the grinder and blah blah blah. Anyway, we bought it to save money on buying out of house Starbucks lattes and stuff like that, because it's got a milk frother, and it is coming in handy now, and it came in very handy over the don't leave your house period. Excuse me. Anyway, but like compared to the drip machine or the basket machine, there's hardly ever any fines. But when there are fines, it's like, I remember how much I dislike those. Also, yes, that is the sound that plays in my head every single time I end up with fines. I guess maybe not fines, but actual like grounds. think this is mostly fines in here, but still, chunky coffee, guys. No. That's like my one big texture issue with food is it's like, if it's supposed to be smooth, excuse me, the other stuff in it should also be smooth or smooth-ish at least. Like, I like fruit on the bottom yogurt cups, but I cannot stand the old school, like, the blueberry yogurt. Just, whew. Every single time. I used to have it as a kid, and it was just like, would make me gag. It's like, no. Now, do I mind crunchy stuff in smooth things? No. Some of them are, in fact, quite enjoyable, like nuts. But, yeah, I don't know what it is about. I think it's because the blueberries would be, like, really dry and kind of the husks or something. I don't know. It's weird. It's fine. It's very easy to avoid. But it is weird. I'm not going to deny that. Okay, this one needs a tag on the other side. I think we might be out of bobbin thread. Nope, we're not. Okay. Like, I think we might be out of bobbin thread. No, we're fine. Okay, so the one thing I do have to do is I have to make sure that the exterior actually gets sewn before the interior, because otherwise it becomes a lot to maneuver, especially with this, like, stiffer interfacing. I just realized. Let's put this over here because I undid the zipper and now so the mic was facing the other direction away from me. Anyway, yeah, I have to like sew the exterior and then sew the interior, just because the shaping of the interior affects the exterior. My ability to sew the exterior. There we go. Interior seam on this side. So I did not make any selections outside of the Shiba Inus, and that's mostly because I saw the Shiba Inu like right there for last night. We just worked through the pile, top to bottom, whatever I got my hands on, I got my hands on. I did pull the pink fans because one of its seams needs to have a re-sewing, so we will fix that up on Monday and get it trimmed. Maybe Sunday night, I don't know. I don't know if I will come down on Sunday at all, if we're just going to have a full break day. No, it's show prep season. We're not going to have a full break day. Also, I got to figure out what I want to do with the kids. So maybe we'll go into the zoo since we've got a pass to the zoo. And if it's nice. I don't know if the weather's supposed to be nice or not. All right, trim both of these off like this. And then we'll do the interior seam and the stop stitch on the other one, and then go. So I still have to be careful turning out of that wedge or the opening, but top stitch or doing a back stitch on it, I find that it is far less likely to have issues with the fabric pulling through. I don't know why I'm dithering about this. It's like, just grab the next one and keep going, Katie. What are you hesitating about? Oh, this fabric is so good. So good. If you're like, it seems like you kind of like just arbitrarily decide if you're going to do top or bottom first. And it's like, yep. That's exactly what's happening. Typically, I do like to do the top first because then I remember that I have to sew the handle in. It doesn't happen very often that I forget that I need to sew the handle in, but it has happened recently that I've like sewn the handle in on the bottom. So that was fun. The annoying part of that is then you have to unpick all of the seams to get the handle back into like the proper spot. Like I can just unpick the handle seams and then put the handle on the other end. No. I've sewn all the seams and haven't noticed until I've turned the bag out. So it's like you got to turn the bag back, rip the handle seams and the bottom seam or the top seams, and then and only then can you sew it in correctly. Interior seams. Okay, and then this one also needs a tag because apparently I missed it, so I'll do that. I'm not in the habit yet of like putting the tags in the seams, like the end seams yet, which is what we're going to start moving towards. At least when I remember, really, it doesn't really matter, I don't think. As long as they're in there, that's all I care about. There's apparently a massive debate about tags for the sewing makes, and it's like, to me as a business owner, it's like, no, you put tags in because then if someone wants your product later, they know where it came from. Because when I first started making bags, I was watching podcasts and they'd be like, where did this bag come from? Especially when you're working with like very similar shapes and such. And very similar like fabric patterns potentially and things. Like obviously mine are not as are a little bit more distinct than a lot, but hearing them be like, oh, I don't know who the maker of this bag was, really drove home that everything needs to have identification. There are very few of my products that do not have identification of some description. What's in my... Oh, okay. It's like, what's in my pocket? But it's the pop socket, so I don't forget it downstairs, because I do tend to do that. I'll like take it off so it doesn't overheat the phone. Well, it's like, because it's plugged in right now while I'm filming or streaming. But then I'll forget it on a desk or something down here. And that is annoying, because I really like my pop socket when I'm upstairs chilling. Or putting the kids to bed and playing my games. All right. This one does not need its tag. It's already got the tag in the seam. So we're just going to sew it down. So if you you see me back stitching here, what I'm doing is I am doing a little bit of a back stitch over the seam, interior and exterior, because that is where you're going to get like, well, if there's a point where the stress is going to start to show, that is one of them. Thankfully with these bags, there's not a lot of like stress points, but it's like, just put a couple extra stitches there. It's not any skin off my nose. And then it just tacks everything down because we've cut the seam line by trimming the box edge. And so I figured it's just a good way to make sure that it doesn't completely unravel instantly. And so yes, I do that on all of the seams, and particularly for the handle seams, because that is where, like, between that and the zipper areas, that's where you're going to have the highest stress points on the bag. So these cats and strawberries are freaking adorable. I am very much enjoying these smaller handles in these bags. I think they actually fit the bag better. And here's hoping, still haven't tested them on the grid wall hooks yet. Oops. But I guess trial by fire tomorrow. It's not like we're going to be making the large box bag handles any smaller at this point. So. Oh. Wonder where the expression trial by fire came from. I feel like that might not have very nice origins now that I say it out loud. Oops. All right. Anyway, we'll be testing them out in action and seeing how they handle the grid wall hooks. There we go, in person. And then if we need to make any adjustments, I can make them for the next round of small box bags, and then it'll cascade through to the next round of large box bags. Although I feel like that's probably going to fit on the grid wall hook just fine. Maybe if I think of it when I go upstairs for lunch, I will take one up with me. And if I don't, I don't. Really. Actually, this is one of the ones with the new interfacing. So let's turn it and see how the interfacing did. It is definitely lighter than the stuff I was using before. Like, so not the non-fusible, but the other fusible interfacing. It's definitely lighter than that because I've been comparing them. But I think we're still going to get a nice crisp finish with this one. Oh, this bag. Yeah. Okay, good. Oh, phew. It's like I just kind of committed to that interfacing as well and just rolled with it. But probably should have checked this. Because I checked on the handle, or a random piece of fabric. Oh yeah, no, that's nice and crisp. So this is the new interfacing that is replacing the old fusible interfacing, and it looks really, 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 really good. Yeah, there we go, and that's a nice handle there as well. Now it is a little bit softer, so like it's gonna hold its shape, but it's also got like quite a bit of drape there, but that's fine. It's all good. Okay. Check that by the cat. I'm going to do these two, and then I do need to run up and go to the washroom, and then we'll be back down to do more. This fan fabric, every time I see it, a different color like catches my eyes, and I love it for that. Okay, did we put the tag in here? Yes, we did already. Sweet. So yeah, so that, the new fusible interfacing, I would put that actually with a hand between the old non-fusible and the new, or the other fusible that was in between. Now that might affect the Kato bags. Okay, so yeah, so we'll do one Kato and see how it does with that interfacing. Because what I'm basically doing with that one is we're interfacing the fabric so that I try to mimic the canvas, so the canvas isn't overbearing, I guess, on it, and also because it's like then with the drawstring on top and everything like that, it can hold its shape easier. If it's too light, we could always interface the interior fabric as well. Because the next step up for interfacing from the supplier that I have in Calgary is very papery. It's basically like a Pellon 809 dupe. And then the other options are just kind of not good options. At least for what's, well, I could go with Pellon, but I've been hearing that their adhesive is not what it once was. So, I don't know. Although I do have the wholesale contact for them at least, so maybe. I don't know. I should actually get in touch with them though and find out the cost on the foam, the fusible foam that I want to use for the book sleeves. Actually, that's who I should get in touch with for that. Go. I really don't want to have to interface the interiors of the kata though, because that would be a lot of extra work. So here's hoping that just interfacing the exterior is still sufficient. I could do 2 layers of interfacing on the exterior as well. So I guess we'll see. Because I don't want to change up the weight of the canvas because I'm very pleased with the canvas weight right now. That bobbin ended right before we did the back stitching, of course. Didn't even fully finish the seam. Okay. We'll go back to where we backstitched the crossover seam. Alright. Light blue strawberries. And did we put the tag in this one? I think. I can't tell. No, we did not. Okay. So we'll work from this end and then the handle in up top. Oh, that is the top. Never mind. So maybe we did. Yeah, the tag is already in there. Alrighty, good. Basically what I'm reaching in to check is to make sure that the zipper is open. Super key in being able to turn these out easily. Otherwise you just end up with the lining engulfing the whole thing. And it's never fun to try and open the zipper either. Like, you can open the zipper if you've sewn everything together, but once you've turned it especially, it's like, a beast. Worse than a beast. Alright, that's not right. Shove it right in because apparently it's going to fight me here. The strawberry fabric is very light. It is like nice and silky cotton. But apparently the handle wanted to fight back, so that's always fun. pink on this blue is like really, really nice too. That makes it sound like I am done. I am not done, but it is wash and break time. So we're down to 5. We're down into the official piles now. That was like the extra piles with the small box bags. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, I actually have 6. Oh my goodness. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. Yeah, so we got 50 more bags to do. That was about 10 right there. So, you know, we'll get there. I'll be back in like 10 to 15 minutes though, just to make sure I've got snacks and everything like that, so I'm not quite as disruptive. All right, we are back. Starting on the strawberries. So we got a pile of 50 left. I just realized I should have eaten my granola bar while I was off mic, but actually that might still be a good idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna mute the mic and stuff a granola bar in my face. I thought I brought a granola bar down. Oh, cookies. Okay, even better. All right, cookied and caffeinated. I was just thinking, I'm like, I could technically be like chain piecing these, but the other benefit to like finishing them kind of individually like this, or getting them to the point of turning individually like this, is that essentially I can stop at any point now, and I still have a number like nearly finished. Like, what is it? If it's 8 seams, like whatever 7 out of 8 would be. No, it's one of those odd decimal fractions that ends with a 6. But anyway, yeah, that's part of why we do it this way as well. Sloth and Lemons is a cotton linen blend, so it's got that nice different hand, a little bit more, it's just not as smooth. It's not rough. It's not as smooth as like the quilt cottons typically are. Actually, I am thinking I'm going to take an extended lunch break and go do my errands over lunch. And then I can come back and wrap up the sewing, maybe off of stream afterwards. So I'll work for another couple hours and then head out. I know I said I was going to do a full day stream, but I just don't think that's quite in the cards, considering that I realized that I need to go get coin from the bank. It's one thing if I just have to get bills, but coin rolls obviously can't be dispersed from the ATM. I wish they could. That would be amazing, but alas, we do not have that. Almost should go do it now while it's still quiet, but we'll finish up a few more here, at least, before I do. Actually, yeah, let's finish this one up, and then I will go do errands, and then I will come back, and we will just sit down and... No. Yes? Ugh. I don't know anymore. Let me check something, and then we'll see. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna run out and do my errands now, and then they're done, and I don't like it takes that off my mental space. So I will be back after lunch sometime, and I will chat